First of all, can I just thank you all for coming out tonight? It's really exciting to see people supporting what Rob's trying to do with This Is Change, especially at a time of year where it's quite difficult for people, so I really do appreciate you coming out, so thank you. What I wanted to discuss tonight was my experience of innovation in the civil engineering geophysics industry. Now, it's a bit of a niche area, you may not have heard of it, but we're a business that's closely aligned with the AEC sector. A lot of our customers are construction companies and architects and developers, mainly from the north, but we do get work all around the country. Now, until the last few years, the equipment that we used was very much rooted back in the 80s. So there was a lot of innovative ways to make it work, a lot of Heath Robinson engineering going on, lots of gaffer tape, lots of zip ties. But more recently, the equipment supplier market's expanded, which has led to an expansion in the market. The legislation and guidance such as PAS 128 for utility mapping surveys has created greater awareness of geophysics, and I'm pretty sure that we owe a debt of gratitude to Time Team as well. But what I thought I'd share with you isn't about the business really, isn't about what we do. You can Google what we do, you can search for us, you can link in with me, and happy to have conversations about geophysics. But what I actually wanted to talk about was the 5 key skills that I associate with innovation, and that when I researched it and when I looked into the business and management trainings that I've been given, it actually come from the Harvard Business School. And there's 5, so if you've got a pen, you might want to make a note of these. So it's observing, questioning, associating, experimenting, and networking. Now, when Harvard Business School did their research into innovative leaders, they noticed that you could boil down these 5 skills into most of the people. And the good thing is you don't need all 5, but you do need more than one, and that last one, networking, that's a bit of a golden bullet, so when we get onto that I'll explain a bit more. So the first one's observing. Now, observers, they tend to be the people that are always on your shoulder looking at your screen when you've got some new information or new pieces of data there, and if you don't recognise that in yourself, you'll probably recognise that in someone within your company. And the practical tip that I wanted to share with has got a management term called a Gemba walk, but really it's going to see what's going on. Gemba's a Japanese term for the crime scene and going to that place. So if you go to the people that are carrying out the processes, you get your first-hand experience without the perception filters of what's going on. There's no reports, there's no meetings, there's no back and forth email tennis. It's your vision, your opinion, and it's not filtered by somebody else. Now, I like to do this on that second cup of coffee of the day. So people come in, they complain about the weather, they complain about the traffic, they talk about that latest Netflix series that they've been watching. They've had that first hit of caffeine, they've gone through their email, printer's got no paper, printer's got paper jam, printer's got paper. They've done all of that. And then on that second coffee, they're actually stuck into the work. And that's when I like to go and see what's going on. But the key here is not to jump in, it's just to observe, just to see what's going on. Because if you've got this next skill, you'll inevitably get there, which is questioning. So questioning is where you get to be the annoying child. I've got 2 kids, a 4-year-old and a 6-year-old, and the question why is asked thousands of times a day and it never gets old. But when you're faced with the successions of why, you really drill down into someone's knowledge of what they're doing and why they're doing it. And if you're asking questions of somebody that's carrying out a task and you identify an issue, what you must remember is that the issue isn't with the person carrying out the task, it's with the system that you've established and put that person into. So if there is a problem there, it's because they don't understand. And if they don't understand, it's because you've not explained it well enough. And then there's that other question about what other key skills can you bring to the role. So if you ask these people what can they do, what skills and talents they have that might not necessarily be related to the task that they're doing, if you can bring those out of people, enhance them and nurture them, that's where you'll find your innovation, because the questions that are really important for innovation are the ones that you ask the people that are doing the tasks that you've given them. If you can look at a process or a workflow and ask the how and the why, then you're going to be innovative. And if you can't do that, you're going to really struggle to be innovative. But that's all right, because there are 3 other things that you can do. So the next one, the third one, is called associating. Now, Steve Jobs said that creativity is connecting the dots, and the skill of connecting the dots is called association. And it's that ability to connect seemingly unrelated ideas to bring about transformation that can really be magical, and it's a really hard skill to emulate. From my experience, you've either got it or you haven't, and if you've got a little bit of it, it's really hard to nurture it. If you can go and see your processes, you can ask the questions, and then you have that ability to associate other aspects of your knowledge, that will be the spark of inspiration that you need to lead that innovation. And for me, it's about creativity. And again, what I like to do is bounce my ideas off people. You know, why do we do this? What happens when we do that? Do you remember that thing we did last time? Can we do that here? And it's at this point you're going to start meeting resistance. People saying, well, no, you stick in your lane. You do what you do. No, we don't do that. They do that. We do this. And that's when you need to move on to the next skill, which is experimenting. Now, this can be really hard to do because obviously to experiment, you need to fail. And there can't be many people that are happy failing. It's quite hard to manage failing in front of your MDs and your FDs, but failing is the fundamental part of experimenting that leads to innovation. By failing, we get the opportunity to revise, review, and rework our ideas with knowledge that we didn't have previously. If you try something and it works, can you really be happy with that innovation? Do you not want to be continually improving? 1% better is better. All of those business ideas that get spun out at CPD events, these come from the experimentation that you can do within your businesses. So then the fifth one, like I say, this is the golden bullet for me because I've got some of those skills, but networking. So you may have heard the phrase, faster alone, further together, and that's exactly what networking's about. Not many people have all the skills that I've talked about, and even the ones that do have most of them, they'll still surround themselves with people that can help them along the way. But what's important is you've got to diversify your network. Don't just network with people that are within your social filter. You've got to be challenged by people. What better way to really focus on what you know or what you think you know than being challenged about it? If you have to really think about your answers and are really put in a position where you've got to defend what you think you know, you really understand what you've got to do. And again, from my experience, I like to surround myself with like-minded people at work, but then come to events like this and talk to other people and see what's going on in other industries. And I think that's why I say networking can really be the golden bullet, because you can find out things that you just don't know within your industry. So in closing, I just really want to say that innovative people like yourselves hopefully will find innovative things to do for people that will mean we get this positive sum game. Everyone gets a bit of the cake, and the cake just keeps getting bigger. Thank you.